Hello all you beautiful bumpkins out there, and welcome back to another video. And today we are tackling the Christmas special video. So this year we're talking about Christmas games, kind of, but a lot of these games are just like Christmas backdrop, and then there's a different story that goes along with it. So today we're pretty much going to talk about different Christmas games that I grew up with. There's only a few that I'm going to talk about in this video because I really didn't play that many Christmas games, because there isn't that many Christmas games. When I was doing research for this video, there really isn't that many Christmas games in general at all. There's a few, but these are like the ones that I played, so we're going to talk about those. But the first game we're going to talk about today is Batman Arkham Origins, because I love this game, and this is getting its own video at some point. So oh yeah, also FYI, these are kind of they're spoiler free. I'm going to try my best to make them spoiler free. I'm just going to talk about the synopsis of the game, some of my favorite characters, some of my favorite parts, trying not to spoil it, and then how is it Christmas? Like, what are the Christmas elements to the game and stuff like that. The first game, Batman Arkham Origins, is an all-time favorite of mine. I love this game. One of my favorite Arkham games. I love all the Arkham games, but this one's great. I just, strictly because I love the Christmas feel to it. The Christmas vibe to it is amazing. We got like Christmas trees all around the city, lampposts switched out with like snowflakes for the lights, which is really cool. You see snow falling a lot of the times. Sometimes it'll like snow harder than others. You can also make footprints, and not snow angels, but you can like you can use your feet to make like stuff in the snow, which is really cool. I saw a few pictures online that I can't really show because they're not appropriate, but there's some good stuff that people come up with, and it's pretty open. They pretty much let you do whatever you want, so that's cool. You can also see frost coming out of their mouth when they're like talking in dialogue. That's really cool. This game came out in 2013. There's probably games that had done that before, but that was a nice touch. I really like that, especially like in the Batcave and stuff. I remember seeing like Batman, like the frost coming out of his mouth. I was like, man, it's cold there, man. It's in presents, and the city's pretty decked out in Christmas gear. It feels like Christmas. Not every area because it's Gotham, but like for being Gotham, it's surprisingly pretty festive. So that's pretty much all the snow stuff that I remember. There was a few scenes that I liked. I think there was one when there were like these henchmen, and then Batman like grabbed one. I think he was sitting in like a Santa's seat or something. Like he was sitting in a seat or something, and then Batman like grabbed him up and took him to the roof, and then started dangling him off the roof or whatever. I'm pretty sure. I might be blanking a little bit. I think it's something like that though.
You are very cordially,
you are very cordially invited to a party.
and it will be a grand affair.
Grand affair, and it will be a grand affair hosted by the Hatter.
We do hope that you can come.
You can come. We do hope that you can come to share in all the joy.
It's the origin story. It's the origin story for Batman in the Arkham universe, which is awesome. I love origin stories if they're done right. And this one and Batman Begins are two of my favorite origin games / movies, I guess. I really love how Batman. I was talking about this a little bit earlier already with him like dangling someone off the roof, but I love how Batman's so more brutal in this game. Like literally, like one of the first scenes we see is him sneaking up behind someone and then knocking him out. It's pretty badass. And Batman he's only like 26, 27 in this game, so he's young, and he's still got the mentality. You know, he's still like new into the game. I don't know why, I can't think of how to say it right, but anyways, let's talk about the premise of the game. So Black Mask, pretty much, he puts a bounty on Batman's head on Christmas Eve. And I think they only have that night to kill Batman, I think, so it's gonna be like the longest night in his life. Like a bunch of assassins coming after him, and he's gotta kill every single one of them. I love the story though. The stakes are high, even though we do kind of know like it's the origin story, and Batman's in Arkham Asylum in Arkham City, so we kind of know that he's not going to die by one of these contract killers. But I love the idea of it. Contract killers coming after Batman. There are 8 contract killers in this game they have to go out through, and it includes Killer Croc, Deathstroke, Firefly, Copperhead, Deadshot, Electrocutioner, Lady Shiva, and Bane, as well as fighting one of them with Joker. I don't know which one that is, I forget. I guess another thing, since we're talking about it, the voice actors of Batman and Joker.
At least we know he won't be ugly.
I think they did a really good job for going for a younger version of both of them. Of course, I prefer Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, but I thought they did a good job for what it was. I thought the hate was a little much, because I felt like, especially Batman, it felt like Batman to me. Definitely a darker tone Batman, but that's what they were going for, and I thought he nailed it. So the detective mode I love in this game. I know it's in other games, but I just love the way they utilize it in this game. The first time we used it at the Lacey Towers for the yeah, the Lacey Tower murders. Doing that for the first time and then figuring out like what was going on was like crazy. I was like, are you serious? Like, it's really good. And I know some people aren't huge fans of what they did with Black Mask in this because they kind of underutilized them. But I mean, the twist, it was a good twist, but I do feel if you're a Black Mask fan, I could see how that could be irritating. I liked what they did. And Black Mask isn't my favorite villain of all time, and when he is in this game, I thought he was a pretty intimidating villain, you know, so he did his duties. I guess since we already talked about the boss battles a little bit, I'm going to talk about a couple of my favorite ones, because I love the boss battles. Like, they're some of my favorite things in this game. I got this game, I got it when I first got my Xbox 360. So much nostalgia for this game, so that's definitely why it's affecting probably me a little bit. But me and my brother used to play this game for hours, and then right when we got to the Deathstroke boss fight, it was like the second boss fight, we got stuck and we couldn't do it for like the longest time. That's one of my favorite boss fights, so I love the Deathstroke boss fight. Now that I'm older, it's a lot easier. I mean, it's not too bad. I think I did it in one try on my last playthrough. It's like not too hard if you just like time it and stuff. But man, was that hard for me when I was like 12. And I love the boss battles. I love the boss battles. It's either Deathstroke or Deadshot. I always get them mixed up. They both shoot. They both have weapons. And they both have dead in the name. I think it was Stroke, though. I think it was Stroke. And I also really like the Killer Croc battle a lot, too. But I like a lot of the boss fights in this game. And also, I really like how they brought in like a bunch of new people that we've never seen in the franchise at this point at all. Like Lady Shiva hadn't been in the game yet. I don't think Copperhead had been, or Deathstroke. Maybe Deathstroke and Deadshot both weren't in it. Anarchy. He reminds me of Robin so much, like a evil Robin or something, but I know it's probably not. Bird, which I never heard of. Bird, I never even did that side mission either, so I looked at a picture of him, but I was like, dang, I've never seen this dude ever in my life. Those are a few people that were new to the franchise. Most of the boss battles were new to the Black Mask. He hadn't been in a game before. So they added a lot of new villains that we hadn't seen before, and I thought that was awesome because might as well just use as many as you can if you're like making a bunch of games, not use the same villains in each game, because they kind of did that in City. They did it with Origins too. They brought back some, like Bane. He was in both of them? I can't remember. Killer Croc, he was in Asylum, I believe. So yeah, they did reuse some villains, of course, Joker. Some people I never even heard of, and I'm pretty big Batman fan, but like not like hardcore fan. Like I haven't read all the comics or anything, but it was just cool seeing a bunch of people that hadn't been in the franchise in the Arkhamverse yet. I love the aspect of just after playing Asylum and City, and like Gorn's the police commissioner, the police are on your side and they're working with you. I love the jump from them working with you into Origins where you're not on anyone's good side yet, you're still trying to make a name for yourself. So the police aren't a fan of you, especially because Commissioner Loeb, he's the commissioner in like the first like mission of this game. He dies very shortly in the beginning of this game, but he was supposedly a dirty commissioner, so a lot of the cops were dirty, so that's probably also partially why they didn't like me. But Gorn didn't like me for a different reason. He just like didn't know who I was. He didn't trust us fully. He just assumed, he just wanted the police to take care of it, not some vigilante in a cape. I'm pretty sure that's like an exact line probably. But anyways, I just love fighting police officers, like, and them being like, oh my god, it's the Batman. And it's not the henchman, it's the police. It's a good switch from before. I like it. I really like Gorn. Gorn's awesome because he's like one of the few actual good cops in Arkham. He puts too much trust in the police force where just he shouldn't be, because a lot of it is dirty. And then again, kind of in a similar realm, but I also love seeing people in the last game that are like completely different than the previous, like seeing Harley Quinn as I don't know how to pronounce her name when she's not Harley Quinn. Seeing her as like a therapist and working with Joker, because I don't know if that's how the game ends, but I know Joker gets caught at the end, and then, or gets caught at some point and starts working with Harley Quinn, and we see Harley Quinn and she's like a normal person, and I just really like seeing that because of, I mean, of course, from Asylum and City, she was already fully Harley. We did hear the tapes, I think it was in Asylum, where you could like hear their interactions together as he was slowly manipulating her over time. I really love those. Those are awesome.
Patient interview number 1.
So, I'm your first, am I, Toots? You know what they say, you never forget your first time. I'll try to make it memorable for you.
But this was really cool too, just like seeing her, like while the tapes were being made, I guess is technically when this would be. It's like being able to see her get persuaded and start to fall for the Joker. So I like seeing that as actually seeing it on screen rather than just hearing it, but that's still cool too. Also, Barbara. Gordon's daughter, we meet her in this game. And she is a G from the beginning. Like, she's helping us, like, from the get-go. She's like, yeah, I'm sorry, the police are shit, and my dad doesn't see it. So, I really like her, because she was always, like, helpful with us. She's, like, the tech of the group. I remember her in all of them. I think it was all of them. For sure, Knight and City. Barbara's one of my favorite characters, for sure. Yeah, and then, of course, seeing the origin between Joker and Batman, like, their first interaction together. And now let's talk about some of the side missions they have in this game. Because some of the side missions are actually, I enjoy the side missions in this game. In a lot of the Arkham games I do. There's not that many in this one, though, as some of the other ones. And some of them are pretty easy. You only gotta do, like, one thing. But the side missions in this game are Anarchy Bombs, Penguin's arm caches, Mad Hatter, I assume it's just like a Mad Hatter boss probably, Shiva, and then Black Mask drug stashes, Deadshot, Bird, and Blackgate prisoners. And then, of course, there's the Enigma data packs in this game. Rather than the Riddler trophies, you got to get data packs, which isn't nearly as grueling. There isn't nearly as many, which is so nice. I think this game has the least amount of Riddler trophies in any of the Batman games, which is a plus to me. I like that. Some of the side missions I really enjoyed in this game was the penguin arm caches. I haven't done them all before. So I haven't done the Mad Hatter one or the Shiva one. I've done some of the earlier ones. But yeah, I had fun with them, and I want to go back and play all the side missions because, well, I might as well. And I now that I'm actually like into like 100%ing like everything, now I'll actually play the side missions, because when I first played this game, I was just like playing for the main story, not really side missions. And then kind of the last thing I want to talk about, Arkham Origins at least, is the continuity. I really enjoyed what they did with the continuity, like taking some stuff out of the map because it wouldn't have been built yet. Like, it would have been built in either Asylum or City, or stuff that isn't in future installments that was there before, that got destroyed by something, like the docks that got destroyed by the Great Flood. So that's kind of cool that they actually have stuff in there that would have been there, and they actually took into account, they actually like looked into it and was like, all right, would this be here, would this not be here? I really like that little touch. It shows that they really do care. Overall, Arkham Origins it's the most underrated Arkham game, easily, but I love this game. I really love the story, and I don't want to spoil it, so I want you guys to play it for yourselves, but it's a really fun game, and if you're a fan of the Arkham games and you haven't played it because you've heard like it's shit or whatever, just play it, because you just got to make up your mind for yourself. I really enjoy it. My opinion isn't the best opinion or isn't the worst opinion. I'm just saying how I enjoyed it. There are people out there that like the game. Yeah, that's Arkham Origins, and it's one of my favorite Christmas games. I almost play this like every single year. This one and the next one I'm about to talk about, I don't play the whole game normally, but I usually start it and play a little bit of it up until Christmas. But the next game we're going to talk about is Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I love Miles Morales. Miles Morales, the Spider-Man games were kind of like the Arkham. They were inspired by the Batman fighting style. They're totally different. They are totally different, and I love both of these series. So they're both two of my favorite series of all time so far. And Spider-Man only has 3 games, but all 3 of them, I love both Marvel Spider-Man games and Miles Morales. And if I had to rank them with the Arkham games, it would be like impossible, because they're like 7 of my favorite games of all time. This was the game that was in between Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man 2023. I think it came out in like 2021 for like the PS5, when the PS5 dropped. So they were able to make the graphics look way better, and actually, like, not look way better, but they were able to work with the PS5 engine, so the graphics looked better than they did with the PS4. Now like graphics just like they don't jump up in scale as much as they used to. I feel like from going from 360 to PS4, that jump in graphics was crazy. PS4 to PS5 isn't as crazy in my opinion, but it still looks phenomenal. For the Christmas stuff, it's very similar to Batman Arkham Origins. It's got like Christmas trees, decorations all around. It snows, and you can also see frost coming out of Miles's mouth or Peter's mouth, whoever's talking. One of my few complaints about this game is that it could be longer. It could be a little longer. I know it's like it's supposed to be a smaller game, so I'm not too mad at it. They weren't like trying to go full-fledged like 20-30 hour game like they were going with Spider-Man. But it would just be nice if it was a little bit longer, because it went by so fast, dude. And I was like, oh my god, that's it. And there's no DLC. It's pretty much like a DLC. It's pretty much like a hidden DLC for Spider-Man 2018, pretty much. That's pretty much one of my only few complaints, because I do really love this game. The map, I really love the map and the side missions. Let me talk about the main plot before I talk about anything else in the game. So, the main plot of Spider-Man Miles Morales is it takes place a year after the events of the first Spider-Man game. Miles has been through the beginning stages of his training, He's pretty much, well, he's through his beginning stages. He's still a lot more to learn. He's only a year into training. He's ready to put on the Spider-Man suit and actually, like, be able to take care of the city on his own. Like, Peter doesn't need to be there. Because I think Peter isn't in this game, really, besides, like, in the beginning. Yeah, because he's, like, he's got to go somewhere or something like that. And it's mostly, you're just playing as Miles throughout the whole game, which I love that, because I love Miles. Miles is a great character. But the main conflict in this game is a gang war breaks out between an energy corporation, Roxxon, and a high-tech criminal army called the Underground, led by the Tinker. It literally sounds like a Captain Underpants villain. I think it is. Wasn't there a Tinkerer? No. Tinkle Trousers. I'm thinking of Tinkle Trousers and Professor Poopy Pants. But they definitely could have done Tinkerer. Like, that's such a Captain Underpants villain name. I just think it's so funny, dude. The Tinkerer. I know it's probably like tinkering with gadgets and smart stuff, but it's a funny name. I like it. And I really like how they tie the story in the Tinkerer with Miles. It's amazing. And I really love that stuff. You got to play it for yourself. I don't want to spoil it, but so Miles is still pretty much struggling with his dad's death, but he's to the point now where he's able to, obviously losing a parent, you're never going to not think about that. But now he's kind of to the point where he just wants to make his dad proud. He just wants to make him proud, and he wants to be just like him. He wants to protect New York just like his father once did. It's very sweet and very sad, dude. Like, it's very sad. I feel bad for Miles so much. And then Peter lost his uncle. These superhero stories, they always hit a nerve. Like, they always hit something sad. Like with Batman, it was his parents dying. They're always good at like doing that and making you connected to the character. We learn about Uncle Aaron and how he's the Prowler and how we have to take him down. He's kind of like there's side missions with the Prowler in this game. I really like the relationship between him and his uncle Aaron, because Miles is like so not having it. He's just like his dad in a way, where when his dad learned about Uncle Aaron, he not dropped him. I think his dad dropped him or something like that. But he was trying to help him. Miles was trying to help him, like, drop that part of his life, and Uncle Aaron is trying to do that, and it's really cool seeing them work together and stuff like that. I really like Uncle Aaron's voice actor. All the voice acting in this game is really good. They made me get connected to all like the villains, even if they weren't like the best person. And then we also learn about his best friend from like elementary school or middle school, Finn, who was also kind of like really into like science fairs, and she was really smart too. Yeah, we learn about her past. There's a couple missions when we do flashbacks. I love the flashback missions. They're so cool. Learning about him and Finn, and you get super connected to Finn too. And yeah, it's really, really good. And all the actors and voice actors and all the new characters are all really great. Finn and Miles, it feels real. It feels like a friendship that I had when I was younger, and then you kind of lose touch. And then you kind of meet the person again, and they're not the same person you once knew him as, you know? So, yeah, I really enjoy that stuff with Finn. Again, wish it was longer, but alright. Now, the side missions. The side missions in this game, I love the side missions in Miles Morales. More so than the original game, I will say. Because in the original game, I didn't like how there was so many different warehouse fights. And I love the fighting in the game, but there was like so many. There was like demon warehouses, sable warehouses, and then whatever. I think there were 4 or 5 different types of enemies, and they were all just warehouse. It was just like demon warehouse, sable warehouse. It was just prisoner warehouse, and they didn't need that many. They could have dropped it a little bit, and that's what they did with this game, which I really liked that. There's nearly as many city activities or side missions. Side missions and city activities are different technically. Side missions are the ones that are like blue, like icons on your map, and they're not technically like all the other side activities. They're side missions, not side activities. I know, it's kind of confusing, I'm sorry. The rest of the side stuff that you can do besides the side missions are time capsules. The others include spider training, which makes sense. I love the spider trainings, are fun. The FNSM app activities, underground caches, underground hideouts. Though underground hideouts and the Roxxon labs are pretty much like the warehouses in the last game, but there's only 2 rather than like 4, so it's nice. But the postcards were another huge thing that I really liked in this game. And also, side note, I didn't really mention this before, but a lot of the side activities, you're gonna need to be like one side mission before you unlock them. Like with postcards, you need to beat a side mission called Memory Lane to unlock all the postcards to be able to like access them all. So yeah, do put that in account too. But I also really do love the postcard missions, side missions. The postcard ones are because it's like celebrating like Miles's birthday, I think. He woke up from a nap and his mom placed a postcard for a scavenger hunt. I think it's for his birthday. I honestly kind of forgot. but it's really cool. And then you got to go around the town based off the instructions that the postcard gives you and find all the postcards. And yeah, it's a really fun one. Again, it helps you see the city more, and I really like the story to the postcard side missions. Sound samples was the last one, and also I really love these ones too. These are the ones with the Prowler, and at the end of this, you fight the Prowler and stuff like that. It's a really good one. So a lot of these side missions, my least favorite are probably Underground Hideouts and Roxxon Labs, just because I've done them so many times, and it's the same thing from the last game pretty much. But yeah, I really enjoyed these side missions. Like the underground caches also are pretty fun too. I don't think there were, well, there might have been caches, and yeah, there was, but I don't mind the caches. And I don't mind the hideouts and labs, that's sometimes, but just when there's too many of them. This game, it's fine, I can deal with it. But yeah, Miles Morales, man. Love this game. This is going to be another one where I make a separate video on it, just because how much I love this game, and I want to go in depth and talk about everything. Spoiler, you know, I want to go crazy. I want to talk about it, because I love the story. I love both those games so much. For sure, skis. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about the Miles Morales games are the boss battles, because I kind of forgot to talk about this a second ago. But the boss battles, there's not that many, not as many as there was in the first Spider-Man game or in Spider-Man 2. I think this is the least amount of boss battles in any game. There's only 4 different ones, and then one person you fight twice. So you have Vulture. He's the rehash from the first Spider-Man game. When you fight him versus Electro, I think it's Electro. It's not a main mission. It's just like it's the only one that's not part of a main mission. We also have Rhino, which that's the one that you fight twice. The game opens with fighting Rhino through the mall. That's one of my favorite boss battles in the game and in just Spider-Man in general. I love how they open the game. It's just like riding on Rhino's back, or maybe you don't start on his back, but I just remember you're on his back at some point, crashing through the mall. It's great. It's fun stuff. You fight Rhino again towards the end of the game, and then there's 2 other people you fight, which is Prowler, which Uncle Aaron. We have to fight him at one point because Miles gets kidnapped, but he's doing it to protect him, I guess, supposedly. But Miles is just like, nah, fam. Then they fight, and then we also have the Tinkerer, the main villain of this game. It's like towards the end of the game, and that's one of the story-wise, that's probably the best boss battle. Just it's really good. And those are the only boss battles in the game. There's not too many. The Tinkerer and the Rhino is probably my favorite. The first Rhino boss are probably my favorite ones. It does kind of suck they used the same boss twice, so it would have been cool to stick in someone else maybe for the second Rhino fight. But I get why he had to come back. And I'm pretty sure the second Rhino is Roxxon Rhino. He's been injected, or he has the Roxxon gear. Something happened to him in between from the first time we fight him to after. And then he's more on steroids or some crap, I don't know. But I know there was some one-of-a-kind decorations that I kind of forgot about. The hologram of the snowflakes being projected onto the building. I missed that in Miles Morales, and there's other things too. And then the big one, not the big one, but one big one that I saw in Arkham Origins that I wish I talked about was the Jack in the Box elf or something like that was on the roof of a building when I was having a fight with someone. There's some really cool things in both of them. I do feel like Miles Morales, there was the frost wasn't coming out of the mouth as much when it's not in cutscene, which I thought was a little weird, because Arkham Origins had cold breath coming out of his mouth pretty consistently throughout the game, even in just walking around the city. And he was just breathing, and you could see it coming out of his mouth. Those are 2 of my favorite games, and just Christmas games in general. They get you in the spirit. All you gotta do is just roam around the city, and you'll get in the Christmas spirit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on only 2 Christmas games that I ended up talking about for 10 minutes each. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Flipping beard to get in my mouth. Alright, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. Happy holidays to all of you out there, and stay safe out there. And we'll see you guys after the New Year. Peace.